right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Chad's Home. Happy New Year. Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing very well myself, and I'm very honored to be with the first guest of 2021 in the brand new studio, Reckling. What's up, Kelsey?
Can we add fake cheering?
Yeah, we will.
Okay, sick.
How you doing? Thanks for being here. Thanks for being the first guest.
Yeah, of course.
So where do I start? There's so many things I want to ask, and I feel like you're such an interesting person, but we should probably just like start with the music. So 24 Hours is the newest song, came out in 2020.
Yes.
The only song you released this year.
Yes.
But have you been writing a lot? Like, how's this year been going musically?
It definitely, like probably everyone else, things took a sharp turn in March. So yeah, the beginning of the year was pretty much just like playing lots of shows. We did like a West Coast tour, and we had, you know, all this other stuff lined up. That changed, and then I kind of just, with all of that, I like wasn't really in, like I couldn't get in the mood to like write.
Yeah.
And then 24 Hours just kind of like happened. It was just one of those songs that like I spent like an hour doing, and then like that was that. And then I was like, all right, we're releasing this, whatever, who cares? Like not so like cool. Don't put any thought behind it, just like do it and it feels good.
Right.
And then yeah, so I was from the majority of the year not really like playing that much at home, just kind of like, I don't know, just like trying to live through the days and just figure out life. But and then, you know, then it kind of naturally came back, and I started writing again, and then we recorded a new EP like a few weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then that'll come out at some point.
Sweet.
In the future. And then in a couple of days, by the time this interview comes out, we will have had released another song. So
oh, great.
Yeah, so in a couple of days a new song's coming out that we actually recorded a year ago, but it's just coming out now. So nice. And with a video, so
sweet.
Yeah, it's called Spiders.
Awesome. Which is like very in line, I feel like, with your person.
Yeah, it fits.
Yeah. Is 24 Hours like gonna be part of the EP, or is that just a one-off, like separate
No,
track?
it's just a one-off.
Yeah.
And Spiders was originally going to be part of the EP, but now I decided that it's also just going to be a one-off.
Yeah.
So, and it kind of makes sense. So my friend Max played drums on 24 Hours, and he also played drums on Spiders. So I feel like they just are their own thing. But it is more like in line with like the sound and how things will sound on the EP.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because that was one of our questions. Like with the debut album, 24 Hours kind of feels like in line with that still, like has, you know, the thrashy, fast, like punk grunge. But one of my favorite tracks on the debut is Invisible, the closing track, which is like, I just love like punk ballady songs. Like they're just so great. And that like riff that you do at the very end, the guitar riff, is really cool. So are you like wanting to write more songs like that too? Like more like slower singer-songwriter almost kind of jams?
I think why I included that song, that was kind of like a last minute addition, and I wanted to include that on there because like, yeah, I write like punk songs and fast songs, but a lot of the songs I've written just over the years, like from like being a teenager until like, you know, now they kind of sounded like that. Like I have a lot of songs that sound like that like don't really see the light of day, but with the debut, I just wanted it to like be as like true to like the sound of how I had been like playing and recording my own music for so long. So I was like, we recorded it in a day, like in my friend's like closet studio, pretty much like a rehearsal space. And I was just like, it doesn't technically sound like big or huge, but I was like, I don't want it to. I want it to be like just like raw and like how, I don't know, true to like just me and how I had done things for so long.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of like with 24 Hours and the newer stuff, it's like, okay, this is what I always wanted my music to sound like eventually. But first I wanted it like the first thing I put out into the world to be like, you know, just that like honest kind of raw
totally
sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Hi, we're Reckling, and we are at Chad's home. And this is Small Man.
1, 2, 3.
You small man in your small head, crying, crying in my bed. I've been here before, I'm cold. I back away when shit gets old. Feeling guilty.
With you all the time.
Feeling guilty.
With you all the time.
Feeling guilty.
With you all the time.
Feeling guilty. Can you hear the river that flows inside me? You've come close. There's a red stain on your clothes. I can feel your fang, it's close. Feeling guilty.
With you all the time.
Feeling guilty.
With you all the time.
Feeling guilty.
With you all the time.
Feeling guilty. Feeling guilty.
With you all the time.
Feeling guilty.
With you all the time.
Feeling guilty.
With you all the time.
Feeling guilty.
Love that. So I mean, were those a lot of the songs that you wrote? Because you grew up in Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were you like writing songs when you were growing up, and it was kind of like accumulated to that debut project?
No, none of the songs I wrote, like, I wrote all those songs, like, since I have lived in LA.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have a bunch of other, like, really, like, sad, kind of slow songs that, you know, I don't know. Some
Yeah.
people have heard those songs, but,
Yeah.
you know, it's just whatever.
Right. Might stay on your computer kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the new direction, I guess, like, is it going to be more produced, like bigger sounding, more like grandiose, I guess, tracks rather than like a more raw feeling?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a rawness to it. Like, again, we did it all in a day, and but the sound is just like bigger and like loud, which is what I like. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of have it be banging.
Yeah. Love it. Love that. And your lyric writing is super good too. Like, I love the lyric in 24 Hours about like the cat revisiting you in the dream.
Yeah.
Because I know that that's like a metaphor, obviously, but have you had like reoccurring dreams?
Yeah, well, that was a true story. I don't know. Sometimes when I'm like writing a song, I'll have like a lyric or like a word or a sound, and I'll find like a word that like fits the like sound. And then I kind of like go through like my notes on my phone where I'll just like write like really random like lines.
Uh-huh.
But so when I was working at my old job, there was like this cat that just showed up one day, and like he became kind of like our office cat, and everyone loved him. And I worked at a rehab, so like all the clients and the patients like loved this cat, and the cat would come in their like rooms and sleep with them.
Yeah.
And then like the cat like disappeared one day, and we just kind of assumed it was like up in the hills, so we assumed a coyote got it. But I had a dream that the cat had come back and I was like, what does this mean? But I just I used that lyric in the song.
That's great. I love that experience. I love like because I don't know, it's like some bands could write, or some artists write maybe not based on their lived experiences, and just like could write whatever things, but it sounds like, to a degree at least, a lot of your music comes from like your actual experience. And one of those being like I think I'd read that your sobriety and like working at the rehab center and like being like such a big nature person and like studying biology, right? I think so you do like all these things. So are all of those things, I guess, informing your writing like at all times, or can you just kind of sit down and write about some random story that you could like make up in your head, if that makes sense as a question?
I think a little bit of both, but I definitely think all my lyrics are kind of like, what I write about is definitely like, it's kind of like my diary. So it's just, there are experiences I've had. Most of them are kind of like reflections on the past, which I think in sobriety you kind of do a lot of that, like where you're just reflecting on your past and the people in it and the things you've done or things you wish you had done differently or whatever. But and then I don't know, I think like visually I definitely get a lot of influence from like biology and like the natural world and stuff. So it all kind of ties together for me.
That do you write like when you're out in nature? Like, do you go hiking, and does that like help kind of get you in the mindset to actually write a song? Like, do you bring a notebook up there, or is it
I don't know, it's like really random, and I'm like, you know, I used to obsessively write down everything in like a notebook, and now I don't know, just like the convenience of like having a cell phone that's like glued to your hand at all times. But but so now I write a lot of like, I could be anywhere at any time, and like if something comes into my head, I just write it in my notes on my phone, and then I definitely like reference back to my notes a lot if I'm like looking for kind of like a filler lyric, or like if I I'm trying to, sometimes thematically there's a lot of things that tie together, even if they might be about separate events or something.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, and then again, like being a diary of some sorts, to, like a cathartic kind of thing for you. Does that make it then like way harder to perform because you're like night after night, like kind of spilling your heart in that sense?
It's definitely weird. I think the debut release came out in 2018, and like we didn't even play a show. Our first show wasn't until the end of like 2019. So, and the release came out in February 2018. So it was like, a pretty huge chunk of time. And I was working all the time. That was kind of just like, I couldn't think about that in the time being, but but I think, part of it, like, was just like me being a little bit of, I don't know, just being fearful of like having to perform. I don't know, it's just like weird, like singing about like your life in front of people, like staring at you, and I'm like, oh, here we go. But now it's kind of like, you just like get in like a weird zone and you just do it, and it's like fun.
Good. I mean, especially because I feel like a lot of your like you had done a lot of support shows, right, for like bigger acts, so you're probably playing to like pretty big rooms full of people, I imagine. So like that had to be pretty scary as your first like few shows as a band, I guess. It was, I don't know. It was weird how it happened. And like we got offered like some bigger shows, and I was like, well, we can't like have our first show be this like big show at like a big venue. So we played a couple of like really small shows that like we didn't even really like advertise or anything. And it's scarier to me to play like in a smaller setting because I feel like people are like really looking, like paying attention or something. Right. Whereas like in a bigger place, they're like, if people aren't there to like see you, I guess it's like, oh, like they're distracted, or like, there's like a bit of a gap between you and that. So safety net kind of. Do you remember your first two shows? Like, where did you play? Like the Smell, like the Factory, or like? We played Echo Park Rising. We played at Cosmic Vinyl. Nice. And then we played at like a random like warehouse, like the second show we played. That's awesome. Yeah, it was cool. That was actually a really cool show. But and then we played shows opening for Vivian Girls
Yeah.
Which had to be insane.
Yeah, that was super fun. So
Yeah.
much fun. This next song is called Spitter.
You and your sick game, drop your act. It's your only way out. Can I stand the cost? You left scars on what you lost.
Are you weak, girl?
Do you need it? Have to feed it.
You're in my way.
Evil girl, I hear your desperate call. It's petty, your jealousy. I see you spitting from the tree. His tail's between his legs. Spit on him, spit on me.
Are you weak, girl?
Do you need it? Have to feed it.
You're in my way.
Evil girl, I hear your desperate call.
Are you weak, girl?
Do you need it? Have to feed it.
You're in my way.
Evil girl, I hear your desperate call.
That's cool. I mean, yeah, saying like you didn't really have time to put a band together or like practice because you were like going to school, right? And like working and doing all these things.
Yeah.
I think one of the positives about 2020 at least is like it allowed a lot of people to reset. Like even myself, like I was so crazy busy all the time, like doing
Yeah.
a million things. And then when everything hit and it was just like you stay at home, I don't know, it made me like reprioritize some things.
Yeah.
Did you have like a similar kind of almost
yeah.
awakening, or like I don't know, like a refiguring of your philosophy?
Definitely a refiguring, because I'm like, wait, I'm really bad at like just sitting here and not doing anything.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I have to like learn how to like be okay with like sitting down and like because
Right.
normally I'm doing like a million things in a day, and I'm just like I like thrive off of like that energy where I'm just like, oh, I got to do this, I got to be here, and here. And like, whatever. But I was like, okay, I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have anything to do or anyone to see.
Yeah.
So like, what am I going to do with myself?
Yeah.
So it was definitely like, a moment of like relearning how to like just sit with yourself and like be okay with it. And,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is important. I think this is good, for me to do this.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, yeah, I feel like we could all take away some things like that. So
Yeah,
that's,
I'm
that's
sure.
a positive.
Yeah.
Your record label too, like I forget the name, Wink and
Spit.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you still doing things with that?
It's
Like-
kind of on hiatus. It's been, I don't know. It's just like so much work for just me. And like, I don't think a lot of people ordering like stuff through the label like understand that it's just like one person who like also has like a lot of other shit to do. So it's still, you can still buy a few of the releases. Like some of them are sold out, but so I'm still kind of like, going to the post office and like sending out records and stuff. But
Nice.
But as far as like new releases, our last thing we did was with the Paranoids, and after that I was just like, I need a break, and like maybe I'll revisit this down the line, because I learned a lot and it was really cool and fun, and just like putting out like music that I personally like, that
Right.
I think other people are like.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is sick.
Yeah. And it's probably a good experience, I imagine, for like marketing too. Like, I don't know if you did a lot of that.
I'm like pretty bad at it. So I'm just like, kind of trying like half-assedly like to do it,
Right.
but whatever. Not the best at promoting things.
Yeah. Room for improvement.
Yeah,
everywhere. Yeah.
2021 goals.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so in 2021, as we face the new year, EPs coming. Any other like things you have in mind that you want for Reckling as you move forward? Obviously,
I
shows.
I want to play again, and I want to tour, and yeah, I'm just excited about the new recordings and new songs, and yeah, I don't know.
Love it.
I'm down for whatever.
That's great. And then the last thing, just because I have to mention the Bad Brains shirt is awesome, and I know that you played a set.
Yeah.
When was that? Last year you played like a cover set of Bad Brains?
Yeah, last Halloween we did Bad Brains cover set at the Factory.
Amazing.
With Pangea, who did Misfits cover set, Bleached did Ramones, and Nice did Black Flag.
Nice.
It was super fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
Is Bad Brains the best punk band ever?
That's a hard question. Like best hardcore punk band for sure, in my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So good.
Are you gonna be playing a Bad Brains cover today?
No.
Okay, that would have been crazy.
Yeah, I don't
Acoustic
know.
Bad Brains.
Acoustic, yeah. But yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for being here again. It's been an honor to have you as the first guest. Is there any other shout outs or just things you want to mention before we get into the music?
No. I don't think so.
Sweet. We covered it all.
Yeah.
All as well. I'll put all your socials and everything in the description in case you want to check them out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can do that.
This
See?
is the promoting thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
we
bad
gotta-
at it. I can't do it. It's too awkward.
Right. I'll do it for you. It's all good. And then just a couple shout outs for Brian. One, DC Shoes. Thank you so much for hooking us up with some kicks.
Yeah,
Hooked up
thank
Kelsey with some kicks
you.
too, which is super nice. Tobo Chico, love you so much as always. And the one and only Joe Cortez, who is the Patreon person of the week and the very first subscriber. I don't know you, Joe, but I love you so dearly and so much. So thank you so much
Hell
for
yeah,
supporting.
Joe.
So that's it. Now we get into some music. Thank you so much, Kelsey.
Sweet, let's do it.
All right.
This song is called Head Hole.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I talk